finally made it to Reims, France, which is in the Champagne region outside of Paris, about 1 hour. And we're getting ready to go explore the whole city and the historical significance of this beautiful, beautiful town.
This place is known for making champagne, and we're going to hunt down lots of excellent champagne. We've just had a beautiful lunch. We walked down the street to a little boulangerie and got a fresh baguette. And then we went to the grocery store and got some cheese and strawberries and a little bit of tuna and had that. And I just felt so Parisian because just behind y'all is the most epic view of the cathedral. And it's stunning. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Like, we're just having such a lovely time. The weather is so nice.
75 and sunny.
So come to find out, not only do they have champagne, but this city, Reims, has so much history. It's been a very important city for the country of France and really worldwide with its involvement in both world wars. So we're going to go around and see some of those important places and take you all along the way and learn a little something. So we had to start our day of touring Reims with a glass of champagne. My goal is to have at least a glass every single day we're here. We walked just around the cathedral to find a place. We checked out a few and they were charging maybe a little too much, but this glass was just €5 and it's delicious. It's made by a small local producer here in Reims. And we're just gonna sit, and we are literally right under the cathedral. So it's the most incredible view. It's a gorgeous sunny day, and we're gonna have our champagne before we get going around the town.
Okay, so we finally made it here to the front of the Notre Dame de Reims, which is the main cathedral here in Reims. And this cathedral is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful with all the intricate details, and it's in a French Gothic style of architecture, so it's absolutely beautiful. And one of the things you should know is the historical significance of this cathedral in particular. It's very, very important to the history of France. Specifically, it's the cathedral where all of the previous kings were crowned, or where the coronation had happened. Another thing, due to that significance, is that it is one of the main targets of France in historical wars, one of those being the 100 Years' War, and then most recently being World War I and World War II. In the span of, I want to say 2 to 3 days, thousands of bombs were dropped on Reims, specifically in and around the cathedral, since it was the target, by the Axis forces in World War I. And you can still see, to this day, remnants of the shrapnel and the bombings on the side of the cathedral and all around it.
So a little fun fact we learned when we were here about 4 years ago: if you're here at the cathedral and you look up at the beautiful stonework in the arches, you'll see a bunch of the kings represented there, as well as probably different bishops and things. And, you know, beheading was kind of a thing back in the day. You got in trouble and off with your head. Well, they also behead the statues of the kings. So there are several, you can pick them out quite easily. Statues of kings just missing a head. Even though much of the cathedral was destroyed in the First World War, several original windows remain. These windows date back to the mid-1200s, so like 1230, 1240 is when they were installed. Many of them show the history of Reims, which is heavily including the champagne making. And And I think that's kind of fun that you're inside of a Catholic church and they're absolutely celebrating and documenting alcohol and champagne making. And so you can kind of see how it shows the whole process of growing and pressing and bottling. It's really beautiful. Just in front of a statue of Joan of Arc, which is just catty corner from the cathedral itself. She is considered the heroine of France for her role in the 100 Years' War. So she was born to a family of peasants, born in the early 1400s, and claimed to have had visions from Archangel Michael himself, saying that she needed to support the uncrowned King Charles VII. He heard about this and sent her to go to an important siege during the 100 Years' War. They were victorious. She led an army of thousands of men at a time when women are still not treated the way they ought to be, but can you imagine the early 1400s, what that must have been like? Not to mention, y'all, she was eventually captured and handed over to the English, which is who they were fighting to take France back from. She died at age 19, so she did all of that and was captured at 18. All of that was done in a life less than 2 decades. Like, that's incredible. So I highly recommend coming and checking her out. She's also honored inside the cathedral itself for her role in guarding and protecting and bringing France back from the English during that time. So check it out and pay a little homage to a badass lady. All right, now we are outside of the Carnegie Library. And this place is known for a couple of things. One, it was built in the 1920s just after World War I with funds donated by Andrew Carnegie. He chose 3 cities that were sort of frontline cities during the war to build these libraries as a way to preserve culture and history and to sort of help rebuild, because the city was almost completely decimated after the war. It is a public library, anybody can go in, and whether or not you go in, it's just a gorgeous place to stroll by, because the second thing it is known for is its gorgeous Art Deco architecture. So get up and close and check out the details, it's really beautiful. Alright, so just behind me is the next stop on our tour. This is the Porte de Mars, or the Mars Gate. This is an ancient Roman triumphal arch or gate. It dates back to 3rd century AD. It is super duper old, and I'm going to read you just a little snippet about it. Local folklore says that the inhabitants of Reims built the arch in gratitude when the Romans brought major roads through the city. It served as part of a castle of Archivic and the city gate until 1544. In 1817, the buildings around it were removed, bringing the arch into full view.
So we've made it to the Museum of the Surrender, and the significance of this specific museum is the war room inside, where the Germans officially surrendered World War II to the Allied forces. So we're going to show y'all a little bit of the war room, the desk where the signatures happen, and the actual paper that was signed by many of the leaders of the Allied and the Axis powers here in this very building. So we've made it here to the train station in Reims, and as you can see behind me and all across the facade here at the train station, there are remnants still of the damage done by the world wars here in Reims. There are a ton of bullet holes in the concrete walls, as well as shrapnel from the bombs that were dropped. It's just a dark reminder of what once happened here, but I am happy to see all of the people and the happiness and people coming here to enjoy the champagne and the history, and that we have put that piece of our history far behind us. So Ashley and I were just sitting here in our Airbnb, and we heard this music coming from outside. And so I opened up the window, looked outside, and at the cathedral here, it was just lit up with a light show, colors everywhere, and this beautiful music that you could hear in the background. And so Ashley and I started watching it for a little bit, and then I quickly searched online, and it was going to end in like 8 minutes, and it wasn't going to happen again for a few more days when we're not here. So I just like darted downstairs, ran over there, and caught the last 5 minutes of it. So enjoy the footage that I did capture.
That wraps up the tour of our home away from home here in France. France, right now.
That was perfect the way you did it.
Reims, France.
That was funny.
Okay, this makes it to the bloopers. I'm just trying to say it like the French people say it. I don't do so well with the French language. I'm more of a Espanol kind of a girl. Au revoir. I always feel like I'm trying to be light of foot in these old buildings. Like some French person's gonna come out and be like, shut up.
Okay. What I think is the most significant.
You won't say focus on your face.
Oh,
It keeps focusing on everything behind your face.
Oh.
There's a pita pit over there. I can't tell. Pita pit was my favorite in college.